Alright guys, WWE Games held a Q&A on Twitter today in which they answered a lot of questions in regards to WWE 2K15 on both console generations, so here is a breakdown of the news coming out of the Q&A. First off, let's deal with the Creation Suite, as one of the first confirmations was that the game will only feature 25 Creator Superstar slots on both PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Now this is a huge deal, it's the lowest amount we've had that I can remember, and dropping down to 25 from 100 on last gen is such a big difference. It's going to make things like setting up a proper core universe a lot harder with the limited slots, although you might be able to get around it by using different game saves on Xbox One or multiple profiles on PlayStation 4, so you have one specific to WWE, TNA, the Attitude Era, and whichever other ones that you want to use, which would be a pain, but at least it's a possible workaround. Following that with some more potentially bad news, as it was also confirmed that the paint tool is not present on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, but WWE Games did say that they do have a new feature that goes beyond the paint tool that we used to seeing on 360 and PS3, so maybe we could see something like importing images from the PlayStation camera or Kinect, or even uploading images online to then downloading the game like Rockstar do in the GTA series, but we'll have to wait a little longer to find out what it is. Staying with the Creation Suite, and this time some good news, is it was also confirmed that there is more than just Superstar threads on Xbox One and PlayStation 4, with 2K going on to say that everyone on the roster, both Superstars and Divas, can be edited, so you can create alternate attires, however saving them will take up one of the 25 slots available. Now this is something that I've seen, but I'm not allowed to talk about it, although I'm sure everyone will be extremely happy with what's in store. On the same subject, it was also confirmed that Ambrose and Rollins won't have their updated attires, but as you've just heard, we'll be able to update them, so it's not really as much of a problem as it is on last gen. As for custom themes, it was confirmed that that's not included, but it's something that will be added in the future for the likes of 2K16, and it's not really something you can blame 2K for, because Sony and Microsoft didn't support the option to play custom MP3s until the console updates this month, although the same can't be said for last gen. Switching to my career mode, we had a couple of confirmations. Firstly, you can use any created superstar, whether you've created it yourself or downloaded it from community creations, and for people asking about injuries, they are included but they won't force you to retire. Instead, injuries are part of ongoing storylines. On the subject of retiring, the length of my career was set to last around 15 years if you play it as both a heel and a face, and if you compete for the Money in the Bank briefcase in my career, you'll also have the option to cash it in. One other confirmation regarding the mode was that much like the Who Got NXT mode on last gen, you'll have to unlock NXT superstars to use in other modes by first playing through my career. Finally, there's a few other confirmations that aren't really specific to certain modes, so to run through them, of all the managers in the game, they're all available to play as with the exception of Lana, who is only shown during Rusev's entrance and winning scenes. Sid Justice is in the game as a referee, but he's not playable in the game itself. The WWE title features the old WWE logo as it debuted too late to make the cutoff date for the game. Over 90% of the roster in the next gen game was scanned, however The Rock is one of the few that weren't. As for arenas, even though we'll see WCW talent in the game, there are no WCW arenas included in the game. Someone that is included in the game though is the Bunny, as he'll be in as part of Adam Rose's DLC entrance. Also, one thing you may have seen is that online matches now feature gamer tags over the head of each superstar, which can't be turned off, and this is apparently down to being one of the requirements to 2K's first party partners, probably WWE, although the reason why it's a requirement wasn't given. Finally, the last question relates to how many playable characters we'll see on screen at any one time, with 2K confirming it will still only see 6 playable characters on screen. Personally, I'm not too bothered by this. It would have been cool to see more in the likes of a Royal Rumble match, but I'm happy with 6 and seeing how the game plays with a new slower simulation style, because 6 people on last gen was always a nightmare, so I'd prefer them to work on getting 6 working like an actual wrestling match, and then look to add more people next year. Anyway, that's all the main questions that were answered. There's obviously some bad news in there, like 25 core slots, which is a big deal, but there's also the great addition of being able to edit the entire roster and the tease of a new feature that'll be replacing the paint tool. And it shouldn't be long before we get to see some of that in action, as 2K have said that there'll be some sort of Creation Suite reveal tomorrow, so make sure to stay tuned for that and I'll cover it as soon as it's released. Until then, let me know what you think about this news in the comments, and until next time, catch you later.